And we're live. We'll welcome everybody to the Productivity Pit Stop. This is where we give you a chance to take a little bit of a break during the week to just kind of recharge, recalibrate, maybe even celebrate what's going well. And my job is to bring to you resources, people that can help you be more productive in your business, get more clients, convert more sales, and bottom line, have more fun. Today, I'm like so excited. We've got Susan Catalano. Susan is with JQ LaCourte. I'll let her tell you a little bit more about that in a moment. And I'm really excited to have this conversation with you around how to help people be more productive with LinkedIn. I've always enjoyed our conversations that we've had. So, welcome.
Very happy to be here. So I'm glad you asked me to join, and I would be glad to give some tips and techniques to really leverage the platform a little bit better to grow a practice, grow your business, and other things as well.
Awesome. Yeah. So, let me ask you this, Susan. A lot of times, even with me as a coach, people are always asking me, how can I use LinkedIn, or LinkedIn doesn't work for me, or
Hmm.
sometimes there's limitations, especially for financial advisors, that they can't do certain things other people might be able to do. What's one of the big questions that you get from your prospects or from your clients that might be an easy solution that you have for them to point them in the right direction?
Well, yeah, I'd like to say a couple of things about that. One is you have to have a plan initially, right? You have to know whom you are targeting, either it's ideal clients or referral sources. Create a plan and regularly execute on that plan. It's sort of a little different answer to the question, but it always has to sort of start right there.
Mhm.
Um, and there are ways, even in a very restrictive environment like financial services, to play within the rules and also be able to find these ideal people you want to connect with, find them, connect with them, engage with them, stay top of mind, and educate them as long as you follow the rules that are within your firm's compliance or et cetera. But there are ways to do it and also do it authentically.
Mm.
Oftentimes, folks in the financial services industry are very um, they're overly cautious
Yeah.
in their content, and doesn't come out. It's mostly then cookie cutter type of content. It's not very authentic to their business and how they differ from others. And we've been advising and doing this for folks in the financial services industry for years, and there is a way to do it. And we
Mm.
never have any issues with compliance when we guide folks. So as long as you play within the rules and still can communicate information that's authentic to you, it works very effectively.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love, I've always kind of chuckle when I see financial advisors from, the same parent company, and they're posting the exact same
Right.
stuff, that cookie cutter. It's just like, I think it almost hurts
Hmm.
a
Right.
reputation. But, like you say, it's being authentic and the authority, right? Off
Hmm.
is that root word for both of those, the authority
Right.
and authentic.
Hmm.
So, say a little bit more, because it's not just LinkedIn that you help your clients with, right? You help them with other areas of marketing. So, talk a little
Yeah.
bit about that.
Sure. Certainly, a big piece of our job is of our shop is certainly LinkedIn marketing and business development because most of our clients are in the professional services industry or manufacturing industries, and that's where either their ideal clients are,
Mm.
or that's where their referral sources are. So it is a great place if that is whom you need to get in front of. But there are other social platforms that can be very effective depending on who you target. And you should only be on the platforms of where you're going to gain some value. You don't have to be everywhere. That's unnecessary, but you do need to know that certain platforms attract certain groups of individuals. And if those are the groups that you are targeting, then you should be on those platforms. So, yeah, so Facebook and Instagram is a very common platform that we help clients, especially in financial services as well. The big distinguishing features between Facebook and Instagram are there's a lot of females um, of more experienced age that are on there, and oftentimes a lot of financial service or advisors are targeting those individuals because they provide a lot of assistance and help to them. So those are great platforms to get your message out and start connecting with individuals of that nature. So. And we do email to continue with the other services and other platforms. Email marketing is another great platform. I can't tell you how many times I've said, "Oh, or heard email marketing is dead," or another common thing is I've sent out one email, I didn't get any information on it, I'm done with it, you know. So, like any marketing, it has to be always on. You have to always be out there. It's not a one and done kind of process. It's an ongoing communication. But around email marketing, even though we're not reading all of our emails, we can't possibly, but we're bombarded with messages. But it comes in the inbox, and even just your name or your business name, it's a reminder that
Mhm.
you're there. And if you have a catchy enough subject line, or if something that's interesting to someone, then they're probably going to click more to learn more about what you have to say. But email marketing is very different than just sending out the weekly report of how the market is doing.
Right.
It's more authentic, like we said before. What are those unique attributes about you and your business, and how can you help and educate folks? And so having those same content themes there as you would put on social are very important. Mhm.
Gotcha. Now, when you talk about the different platforms, is it as simple as taking the same message or graphic and repurposing or redistributing across the different platforms, or do you
Great
have to
question.
do it differently?
Yeah, so it always the content and the your writing or getting out there should be speaking directly to the people you're speaking to. So
Mhm.
it could be similar, but in more cases than not, it's a little different. So
Mm.
on LinkedIn, where you're going to be find other businesses and business owners and other professionals, you might want to be a little bit more formal on that platform because of those reasons.
Mhm.
And then if you're targeting females, for example, on Facebook and Instagram, you too may want to have different content and images to be more attracted to that particular group. So that may not be the best way to describe that, but key is know whom you're talking to and targeting, and speak in a language that really has an impact to them, and have your content be something that's very important to them and that audience. So generally speaking, it's a little different.
Mhm.
Sometimes it can be the same if you're targeting the same groups of individuals on all three platforms. Hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes total sense. And one of the things that I found really helpful, back a while ago was getting really clear on who my ideal client avatar is. And then imagine I'm just having a conversation with that one person.
Hmm.
That's the representation of that whole market. And it, for me anyway, it made it really easy to create the messaging rather than trying to cast this wide net, even though
Right.
it's a specific market. Do you
Right.
approach it in the same way?
Exactly the same way.
Mhm.
We do a lot of work at the beginning of any engagement with our strategic discovery to find out exactly whom their ideal targets and our referral sources are, and they're not all the same, right? You have to kind of bucket those segments, personas, or avatars
Percent.
in different ways, and create marketing plans around each one of those. And they can very much be different or slightly different. It depends. But in order for the program to be as effective and as successful as you want it to be, it needs to be that personalized.
Mhm.
Especially in digital platforms where we are bombarded with content all the time, and things are going to grab our attention when it feels like somebody is speaking directly to us. It's as
Mhm.
personalized and important to me, as a viewer and a reader. It's going to do much better.
Yeah. Now, it's interesting to me. There's some people that I follow, and I think their content's brilliant, and there's very little interaction. The
Hmm.
likes or the shares, and then there's some people just I don't know if they've been at it a longer time and they've got a bigger following, and their content's really not that great or unique, yet they get
Yeah.
all these likes and stuff. So, can you speak a little bit to what somebody can do to get people
Hmm.
to engage with them and
Sure.
do the likes? Because I've heard, you know, do the hashtags, do the tags of people, don't do the tags of people, form
Right.
these pods, get people to let them know when you're putting stuff out, and
Hmm. Right.
it's crazy. There's like so many things. So what do
It
you
is
have to
so
say?
many things and it's changing every all the time. So I will talk a little bit about some of those techniques, but I do want to say, and this usually makes people feel a little bit more comfortable, is just continue to target and grow your network to the people that you want to be part of your LinkedIn connections or Facebook friends that are really going to be impacting you and your business. Just always be focusing and connecting with those individuals, and then always continue to get the content, good quality, authentic content out regularly. And though if you're doing those two things, then the right set of eyes are going to see your content. If you want to augment that and get a multiple have a more of a multiplying effect, but you don't have to, as long as you're doing those first two, right? Continue to do those first two. If you want to have more of a multiplying effect in the hopes that just the right connections that are your ideal clients or referral sources will see it, and they will, and it's not a bad strategy. There are some things you can do, and again, they're always changing, and they're so one thing that's effective this week may no longer be effective another week.
Mhm.
So unless you are, with the developers, and following the news all the time, can you be as effective at that piece? We do that because this is what we do, and we try to incur. We want to get the best results for our clients. But for the folks that are doing it themselves, I usually say, in some, don't worry too much about it. Just continue to connect with the people you should be connecting with, and then share quality content. So, in summary, there. But there are some things you can do, right? Hashtagging, not too many hashtags. What are hashtags? That's a great way to categorize your content. So if somebody's searching on a particular topic and you're not connected with them, they're going to see your content. So that's just a great way to have more set of eyes on valuable content. Mentioning people, right? The little mention symbol in your content is another great way to make sure other people get to see your content that may be distracted that particular day and may have missed it. But if you mention them, it's going to show up in a notification and they're probably going to see it. They'll engage in it, more likely to do so. Um, Clearly, always having an image is key. Video is fantastic. All
Mm.
the social platforms love video and they're going to prioritize that content all the time. But don't feel like you have to do a video every single week because it's time consuming to do so. Anyway, so those are just some tips that I think that can help you get a little bit more people on your content. Lastly, advertising. LinkedIn advertising's
Mm.
platform is fantastic. We do a lot of campaigns for clients that get a lot of great results. They get leads, um, as well as just the right set of eyes on their content and get more people involved in their ecosystem. So
Mm.
it's been a great platform, and especially if you have a marketing automation program, um, that anyone that's clicking on your content, then you can sort of continue to nurture them, um, and do lead scores and behavior tests, scoring as well, which is just really very helpful, especially when you do advertising. So there are ways to get more eyes on it,
Hmm.
but I typically say don't get too tripped up with it. Just do the basics, and then if you want to enhance, you there are ways to do it. Yeah, and you
Gotcha.
mentioned the pod too.
Yeah.
Pods are great, where you're a group of people, just for folks that aren't aware of that last one, before we stop on this topic. Um, Having a group of other professionals, writing content and sharing content, and everybody engaging in it is another great way to get your message out to more people, because the more likes and shares you have initially with your content, LinkedIn, that taps right into their current algorithms, and they will then of course show it to more people as well.
Gotcha.
So mhm.
Now, is there, I heard once someone say that you don't necessarily have to be the creator of the content, just be a good curator of the content. So, do you have to be the one that's actually creating or generating the stuff, or
Mhm.
can it be, you see something that's intriguing and captivating, you just go ahead and share that and kind of guilt by association of something
Mhm. Yeah. I would say both can be very
good?
effective, but all curated is probably least effective. But you
Okay.
can add in some curated content, um, that you believe is an important message that somebody else wrote, and you want to share that information with your connections. That's
Mm.
incredibly important. You may want to do a little intro in sharing of a post, for example, why you think it's important, why they should read it, what's in it for them if they read it. Then that's a true way of sharing valuable information to someone. I think is very important. But I wouldn't do all curated content. If you just don't have the time to do any creation yourself, and you just have to do, you want to get out there and you want to do some, yes, that's a great way to start,
Mhm.
um, with getting content out there, but always give a little bit of information as to, yeah, this is a great article and why. I think this can help you, for example.
And how do you help your clients with the content creation and the graphic creation?
Yeah. Well, through that initial discovery that I mentioned before, that's where we become experts, on their particular firm, who they target, who their referral sources, what are their USPs, their unique selling opportunities, what's their voice, what's their brand, so that we can write authentic, non-cookie cutter content, for them. So then we just it's a nice white glove service. We just handle it for them. We write the emails, we write the social, copy, we get the images, we put it in a table, we make sure it's sent off to compliance, get that back, and then we schedule all the content, for our clients. We never have any issues with compliance, and clients love it because it's very unique to them and all the important things that they want to do, or accomplish, in their business. And the same is true with our lead generation service, right? We do this, our lead generation service. It's the same kind of content goes out as well. It's not salesy. It's not cookie cutter. The messaging is very authentic, in the lead generation. That's an organic approach, or advertising lead generation. It's just, how can we help you? And speaking in the voice and the brand as to how we can help you. And if you want to learn more, then reach out. We'll be glad to help. So
Cool.
mhm.
And so, if I'm an advisor or another professional, when I'm thinking about the time to put into social media, if I was to work with you and your company, it sounds like up front it's a little bit intensive time wise, just to help you guys get up to speed and understand my voice and pathos and so forth. But thereafter, it sounds like you guys are doing it all for the client. They don't have to be carving out time each day to manage their
Yeah.
social media.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And even on the discovery, because we've been doing this for a number of years now, we've kind of streamlined the whole process as well. So it's only, a couple few hours initially for
Mhm.
us to really come up to speed with the firm. And then, yeah, it just minimally after we're executing to just review what we're going to send out, send it over to compliance. That just takes, maybe 15 minutes a month to do that. And then on the content piece, if we're doing lead generation, obviously we serve up the lead, meaning this person is interested in chatting more and learning more about you and or the firm. Then that's when the client takes it from there. He or she schedules the call, and they work their magic in their sales process in speaking and educating that person on why their firm might be a good fit. So
And do you coach your clients a bit on how to kind of, once it starts to go from online, to get it to offline? If somebody's starting to interact with their
mhm.
posts and so forth, or how do you jump over that
Yeah.
transom?
We do, yeah, we do, but depending, depending on the IQ, the sales IQ, if you will, of that particular client, um, we will guide them as best as we can. But when folks, we can see that they need a little bit more, that's when I'd refer them to you, Machen, because I think you could probably do a much better job in that whole cycle as well. But if they have a pretty good sales IQ, client relations IQ, then yes, we will absolutely be able to guide them so they can really perfect and get a better close rate for them. But when they need a little bit more assistance, as many of them do, we
Mhm.
refer them over to you. Mhm.
Okay. Um, so if somebody wants to interact with you and maybe, jump in and do a discovery, how do they get a hold of you? What's
Yeah.
the best way?
Yeah, best way is usually email or certainly on LinkedIn, but if they want to email me just to chat a little bit more about that, they're welcome to do so.
Okay. And so they just ping you at susan@jqlacourt.com.
That's right. Perfect.
Awesome. Any last parting shots that you want the audience to know about how to optimize LinkedIn or how to better work with you?
Yeah, really don't be too cautious. Get out there and start using some of these tips that we just talked about today. It will make a big difference. You'll be getting a lot more eyes on you and more folks aware of you. Just do it. Don't wait. Hmm.
Just do it. I like it.
Yeah.
Speaking of just do it, one last question. A lot of times people don't know, do I need to pay for LinkedIn?
Ah,
There's the
yeah.
premium, there's the sales navigator. What do you suggest for your
Yeah.
clients?
That is definitely the most commonly asked question. So I'm glad you brought that up. So Um, LinkedIn Premium products are fantastic. We use some of them in our business, but generally speaking, what I recommend to folks, you probably don't need it right away.
Okay.
Just get yourself acquainted with the platform. You can reach out to people and start connecting with folks and get content out. You can do that without a premium product. But if you're really going to be doing prospecting in a big way, at least 80% of your time, getting LinkedIn Sales Navigator account will make it a lot easier for you. It'll save you a lot of time and give you a lot of features that you don't have with the basic free account. It's
Mhm.
expensive. It's $100 now per month is their newest rate. It just went up from $80 a month, so 79.99 to 99.99. So it's pricey. So you want to be able to, get some value out of that and use it
Mm,
properly if you're going to take advantage of it. But one of the biggest features I think are most helpful is you can create searches of folks you want to connect with and you can save them and
yeah.
you have many more target filters to avail yourself of with a sales navigator account. So it's a great feature if you're going to really do some lead generation,
Mm,
but unnecessary if you're not doing it in a very very advanced way or regular way to really um, s- uh, um, to have that $100 expense per month.
mhm,
So to
mhm.
guarantee, yeah. So
And so what I'm hearing is it can be either Premium or Sales Navigator. You don't need both.
You definitely don't need both, but if you're going to get any premium account for prospecting, it would be the Sales Navigator account. I think that's the most effective one. The Business Premium account, which is $59.99, is is not as effective for prospecting. It makes you can search a little bit more. You can't save your searches. It gives you a little bit more flexibility, but not the same degree as Sales Navigator does.
Okay, cool. All right. So, everybody out there, you know how to get a hold of Susan to help you optimize your LinkedIn and get more prospects, get more clients. Susan, I want to thank you so much for taking the time today and sharing with us how to better navigate this world of social media. And we will see you out on LinkedIn.
Yep, sounds good. Thanks so much for having me, Machen. All right,
Yeah.
have a great day. Take care.
Bye bye.
Bye.